Hey, I'm Jessica Patterson of Spinning Shadows Fiber Arts, and happy St. Patrick's Day early, because today we are going to do a very special blending video, which I'm going to call a fiber arrangement. Now, what is this? This is where I'm going to take fiber according to a theme or something that catches my fancy, and I'm going to blend it and try to make it look like something. So for St. Patty's Day, what I'm going to be doing while the cameraman watches, is I'm going to be blending up a special green fiber beer for St. Patrick's Day. I dug through my stash and I found the perfect blends of green and brown and white for ice cubes and some off-white for foam. We're gonna see how this pans out. Now, I don't have access to my full fiber collection right at this moment, but I'm going to make do with what I have on hand just out of my blending box, most of it from Napa Valley Fiber, and this dollar store pitcher that I just picked up yesterday. So let's get to blending. This is going to be so fun. I am way too excited about this. I spent the entire morning before breakfast just grabbing fibers out of the box, like, ooh, here's this beautiful green from, I think it was, I want to say it was like the September kit, but don't quote me on that. I really don't remember. I am horrible at remembering. But this is from one of my monthly kits, and I was just like, oh my goodness, look at this. This is the perfect green. I thought I didn't have any green. And then this is brown merino from, I think, the Busy Bee on Etsy that I've been using in blending projects since I started blending. I'm like, oh, hey, look, I still have like an ounce and such left. This would be perfect for a background, like, you know, a foundation fiber. And then, you know, it's like, ooh, look at this, faux mohair in this lovely green with some stripes of red. This would be pretty too. So let's see how it all blends together. Cameraman, if you will please, down on the blending board so we can get started. This is going to be a fun, crazy blend. I don't know how much fiber or how little I'm going to use, but let's get started. Now, I don't have my my knitting needles or dowels because I'm going to be making a bat, so to speak. And I'm going to be using, what, 3/4 of the blending board. So right about here. And I'm going to blend it as if I were using my drum carder, except I'm going to be doing all of this with the blending board because that's what I have out right now. The drum carder got tucked away for future stuff. Anyway. So I'm laying down this brown as, like I said, as the foundation. Always like to do this because this beautiful green here is alpaca. So an alpaca likes to get away if you let it. So, and I love an excuse to use this merino. This is Spanish moss merino. It's not as like incredibly soft as regular merino, but it's very versatile, very utilitarian merino. So I really like it for my blending projects because, as you can see, it's pretty fluffy for one thing, and it holds the other fibers beautifully for projects. And so I've always liked it for blending ever since I got into it with making rollags for Crafty Housewife Yarns. So, and now I just make rollags for myself. And let's see here, what's next? Let's put on some of our beautiful green alpaca. Now, I've been contemplating this blend for a couple of months now. Actually, it's been a while that I've wanted to do this. When I was doing stuff to sell. I made up some kits, well, not really kits, some, what did I just call it? Fiber, darn, my memory. Anyway, these arrangements, that's the word. I did a coffee cup with brown, actually this brown, and did white with silk for cream and mini Rolex. And I really enjoyed just doing these arrangements with a theme. And it was really fun. Like I did a tin with Christmas candy, colored Rolex. And so I really wanted to, since then, continue on with the idea of just arranging fiber in a way just to fit a theme, like say doing blues in a fishbowl for with like little beads or decorations or something, shells or something, to, you know, mimic a fishbowl and make it look fun. And this is, I'm really excited to continue this finally after several years. So now I'm going to put on this faux mohair. I have never worked with this before. This is interesting. Feels sort of like plastic. But that should add some interesting sheen to our beer, quote unquote. Now I don't drink beer, but just the thought of doing a fibery beer is funny to me. You know, usually, or in the past, we've done, for St. Patty's Day, we would do corned beef and potatoes and, you know, a traditional Irish dinner. Because my family actually, on my dad's side, does come from Ireland. So, you know, it's fun to just, you know, harken back to those roots a little bit. I believe it was my great-great-grandfather came from Ireland and became a salesman and did really well. Really well at it. So, and it's just fun. Let's see here. Now I'm gonna decide here. Let's see, do I want a little bit of Tessa? Oh yes, I always want Tessa. In more vibrant green. Because hey, everything has to be dyed in a natural shade of green for this day. Which is fun. You know, I love, you know, all the silliness with the shamrocks and leprechauns and stuff in the stores. It's just fun. But mainly I think it's fun to have an excuse to have a good drink and do everything in green. And have some corned beef. So it's fun. So anyway, I'm just sort of slapping on the fibers here because I'm going to be taking them off and blending them as if I were using a blending board. So let's see. Because I want these colors to mix more. So I'm going to put on a little bit of this Angelina in Forest Glaze. This is, I don't know if you can see it, it's a combination of green and red. This is from the Woolery in a half, I think that's a ½ ounce increment. So I just wanted some sparkle. Pretty much everything is going to have a little bit of sparkle in this to just bring the brown and the green together. So let's see. Just lots of glitter on there, which is probably going to end up all over the floor later. Fun times. Yay. All right. And press that down. Try not to get it on everything. And let's see. For the brown, I'm going to throw on a little more alpaca. that I have from another kit that is mixed with silk. This beautiful, beautiful brown, which I absolutely love. You may have seen this in a previous video. If you watch videos on my channel, I made some embroidery thread with this for my mom. And there is still plenty left over because it doesn't take much fiber to make thread. So there's that. And let's see here. I think I want to pack on more because I usually don't pack on enough fiber. So I'm going to, for some fizz and fluff, I'm going to pack on some fin. This is some of my earliest fiber from the woolery. And this is a very airy carded fin wool. It's been carded quite a bit, so there's not really much in the way of staple length to it. And it's got a little bit of debris in it. So I was never really happy with it until I realized it's beautiful for blending. And fun. It adds a really fun texture. I'm gonna put this in the foam of our beer as well. So that is getting quite full. I can see on some of the tines here that it's wanting to pop off. So let's see. I think I'll end with a, well, I don't know if I could get a thin layer of this stuff, but I'll sandwich this by ending it with this Spanish moss. Let's see. Yeah, it's really full. I don't know how much fiber this is. It's probably over an ounce. I was gonna add more of like some nylon or something, but looking at this, it's probably enough. So there we go. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna pull it off. Like so, and you can see from the side we have a sandwich, a fiber sandwich. And a little bit of hay in the corner there. So I'm gonna take these fibers and throw them back in because I'm done with those. And I'm gonna take my fiber sandwich and I'm gonna rip it apart. Oh no! And I'm gonna lay it back on like I did the first time. Only much more awkward, to sort of blend it as if I were using a drum carder. But since my drum carder is not accessible, we're just gonna do it the rough way here. Because hey, why not make things a little more difficult and interesting? Just gonna pack it down, and that's gonna stretch those fibers out. Do it again, rip off another piece. Woo! And try and get it to pack on. It's sort of fighting me, it wants to be fluffy. It's like, no, no, don't squash me onto that blending board. Alright, I'm liking this mixture. This is looking like someone didn't mix their beer very well. Did you put the dye in all the way? Nope, nope, probably not. Or it could be like a layered jello. Jello beer. There we go. That works. There we go. You know, this is probably going to be really weird to spin later, you know? Which is what I had fun with when I did coffee. One of my early blending videos, probably actually one of my first, was coffee in the sawtooth. And that was actually from that blending that I did so long ago. Part of it anyway, the spin. I did 2 mugs to sell, and one of them sold and the other one never sold, so I took it down and gave the mug to my mom and sat on the Rolags forever until I finally got the inspiration coffee in the sawtooth to do a blending, and spun the two sets together and made a really beautiful sort of partially beaded yarn. And I'll have to show it to you guys later. I don't know what to do with it. Anyway, there we go. Our beer is blended. And I'm gonna take that off. Woo! Maybe if I can get all of it off. There's a little piece of alpaca that's not behaving itself. There we go. Boop. Oh, and some Spanish moss that is wanting to rebel and stay on there. Get over here. Okay, so there is our blended beer. So I'm gonna try and take off the debris here and put it in. So let's see. What side do I want to look at? I want to look at this side because that's pretty. So I'm gonna roll that up. Boop, boop. Well, maybe a little bit looser. There we go. Pack it in, pack it in. Haha! Look at that. There's the beginning of our beer. And now for ice cubes. Alright, so for ice cubes I have Merino Silk Mix 50/50, some Angelina in Blue Magic, and some random, I think it's Merino, but I'm not sure because it's been in my blending stash forever. So for this, I'm just gonna do like little squares. I'm not even sure I'm gonna do the blending board. So let's see. Yeah, I was just gonna set this aside, put this here, and just make little squares. Let's do that. Okay. And just a tiny, tiny pinch of sparkle. And I'm gonna fold it over. No, nope, I'm not gonna fold it over that way. That'd be silly. Just gonna fold it just a little bit. Harken back to my days of needle felting when I folded and folded and folded fiber. There we go. Look at that. Ice cube. So I'm gonna take this and put it like right there for our first ice cube. I think I want to do like 3 of them. So let me take a little more. There we go. A little bit of sparkle, or a lot of sparkle. That one came out as a chunk. And fold it. Okay. Let's see, that ice cube is there, so we'll put this one right here. Look at that. Well, maybe we'll, ooh, that looks better. Let's do that and squish it down a little better. Okay, so 2 ice cubes, 1 more, and I'll move on to the foam. Alrighty. Like I said, this should be really interesting to spin later because I have no idea for spinning it. I just want to put the fiber together in a fun way. So, you know, I could take the fiber and just like spin it all as one, or separate it and spin it that way. That might be fun. So there we go, some sparkle. And I'll fold that one. Well, that one turned into a really fat ice cube. And we'll put that one right there in the top, like so. So we've got a little bit of ice in our beer. And now for the foam. So let's pack that down a little bit to leave room. And I'm gonna take some of my fin here and open it up. Sort of tear it apart. and throw it down. And now I'm going to take my little can of goodies here that I picked out for this purpose with a little bit of, I think this is soybean fiber. I'm not sure. I've now forgotten since I'm not looking at the packet. And open it up. I want this to be as much of a mess as possible. Some camel. Some orange merino. There we go. And I'll put the sparkle on last. Some white alpaca. This is going to be the weirdest foam you've ever seen. Alrighty, almost there. Except this alpaca really doesn't want to open up. It's a little bit sticky. That's okay. Alrighty. We're just basically for this last bit, I was going to use something like some Gulf Coast or something, but since I just wanted to use stuff out of my blending box, that's not feasible. So this is the next best thing, just making a cloud of fibers that I'm going to blend together with this really, really metallic sparkle here. And I'm going to take what's left and stuff it back in the can and take this and just sort of tear it apart and mix it together. And hopefully get that orange mixed in there better, because that's starting to look really weird. This may be too much. The orange may have been a little bit too much. Oh well. It's starting to blend a little bit. When in doubt, we'll use the blending board just to try and get these to mesh a little better. I'm only going to use the corner though. There we go. And pull and blend. There we go, that's nice. It's starting to make a nice color. There we go. That is more of what I want. Just using the blending board edge to open these fibers up because they're being rebellious and get them to blend better. This is sort of what you would do with a hackle, but I don't have one, so next best thing. Woohoo! So I have a little bit of that. There we go. That's a nice foam there. I like it. So I'm going to stuff that in the top here. There we go. I like that. So I'll just keep doing the same thing and just pull and blend here to get these colors to mesh better. Yeah. And again, I may have way too much fiber for this. I was thinking, oh no, I'm not going to have enough fiber for the foam. No. When you open up fiber, it will always take up way more space than you intend. So, yeah. But it's fun. So, I love blending fibers for stuff like this. This is just happy, fun place for me. And something different. It's not something you see people do. It's not usually an arrangement just for the heck of it with fibers for a theme. Like usually like Napa Valley will do a theme like Irish holiday which is absolutely awesome and I think still available. It's blending fibers that is according to a color theme. But I haven't seen anybody do something like this. Not really. So, and this is blending up nicely. I like this foam. Look at that. Yay! It's got some swirls to it. That makes me extremely happy. And I think with that, unless I really just want to pack that foam in more, I'm gonna call that done. I probably will pack in the foam more later for a picture for Facebook, but for now, there we go. That is a foamy beer for St. Patrick's Day. What do you think? Oh, I'm so happy with this. Look at that. That is so cool. Well, that ice cube turned out a little round, but that's cool. I'm looking at it from the side. I love these blends here of green and brown. It looks like it's swirling, you know, like there's movement in the glass or in the picture. And then we've got this just perfect foam topper. That makes me really happy. So thank you for watching, for tuning in for this special fiber arrangement session. I'm really happy with how this turned out. So let me know in the comments below what you think of seeing this process of creating a themed fiber, you know, creation. If this is well received, I may do more in the future of different themes, just to vary it up for the plain old blending and give it something more. This was really fun for me. Next time I'll probably sit in a chair because that was a lot of bending over to a low sewing table. So setup could use improvement. The result is perfect, at least to me it is. So hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're not already, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great St. Patrick's Day and a great week and days in general, and thanks. Have a great day.